Apparently, I'm supposed to be horribly distraught over that result. But I'm just not. It's just really not that big of a deal. But Colombians would probably appreciate it if you actually learned how to spell the name of their country. I even received DMs because people are begging me to make a video on this, and I find it really, really funny that you're so bored and you have nothing going on in your life that you really need to be sending DMs. These aren't the only ones, by the way. But the fact of the matter is, there's just really no reason for me to panic over this. Am I happy that we lost? No. But it's a friendly. It's merely a warm-up for Copa America. And I don't have any reason to think that we're going to do poorly in Copa America. And if I'm supposed to be freaking out about USA losing to Colombia, a lot of you English should be freaking out about this, because losing to Iceland is not a good look. But at the end of the day, these are friendlies. They're not that big of a deal. They're dress rehearsals for the real tournament. As for the USA-Colombia game, it obviously wasn't the best performance in the world. In fact, it was a bad performance. The first and second goals were just really bonehead mistakes, really, by USA that shouldn't happen. But when we look at the expected goals, it's not nearly as bad as the true scoreline goes. So if this game were to be played again, it could be much closer, even potentially a draw if it were played again. And the same can be said for England here. Now, I will say this. It does suggest that Iceland deserved to score against you. So you did deserve to score, and you barely got almost to 1.5 goals. So maybe you could get a 1-1 or a 2-1 in this game. But it seems that the internet thinks that people should just be freaking out, losing their minds, calling for Gregg Berhalter's head over a friendly match. And I'm just not there for it. But let's take a look at a few of the Twitter reactions. So this is one of the funnier ones because Barstool Sports, not exactly known for its soccer coverage. Gregg Berhalter has once again embarrassed our entire country. More proof it's time to fire him. Then we have the opposite with Andrew Wisnowski, who I follow on Twitter. You should follow him too. He's very smart. He's saying, we talking about practice, man. It's practice. And he's mostly correct. Now, personally, where do I fall in this? Well, I don't think it's completely meaningless. Friendly matches serve a purpose, and that purpose is to test your players against opposition so you can learn things and improve for the next game. So here's the thing. Losing to Colombia 5-1 is bad, but it's also not the end of the world, and it really doesn't suggest much of anything going into Copa America. In fact, for all we know, we could still go on to win Copa America, and this 5-1 loss will just be a distant memory in the past, and I really won't give a shit. And the same could go for England with losing to Iceland. But here's what I think. I think that we learned a lot of lessons in this game, and we now have plenty of time to correct them. And I actually expect a response against Brazil on Wednesday. Now, no guarantees, because we never know what will happen in a game. But what if USA managed to beat Brazil on Wednesday? What would the internet narrative be then? Because, here's the thing. If we go on to beat Brazil, how can you attack Berhalter then? It would be impossible. Now, as far as Gregg Berhalter goes and his job security goes, my position has been since forever, Copa America is his test. If we don't do well enough in this tournament, we can look to fire him. And if we fire him, I'm perfectly fine with that. However, I would say if we make the semifinals or the finals, firing him would probably be the wrong decision. If we don't make the semifinals, it should be a serious consideration because we still have 2 years to prepare for the World Cup in 2026. Now, as far as USA Soccer goes altogether, I think the main thing that most of my detractors get at me for is USA hasn't gone and just won the World Cup already since I started my TikTok account. They should have already won it, apparently. I mean, we've only had one World Cup cycle even since I started TikTok, but at the end of the day, USA Soccer is going to be fine. This has always been a long-term goal to win the World Cup with the men's national team. And I think it's probably going to happen within 20 to 30 years. But it's always going to be a generational thing. This generation, they're only going to be dark horses in major tournaments. They're not going to be favorites to win Copa America or the World Cup, and rightly so. But the next couple generations, you could see them as favorites. And I think we will win it within 20 years. 20 years would be a good way to say whether we can win it or not.